generated from.
Or are we talking a couple grand in electricity?
I'd have to look it up, but honestly, I never, and those are the ones, the few bills, Vermont electric bills that didn't get thrown at one of us when we lost city manager and Becky. I don't know who's been coding those. And they're all self-explanatory because it says right on each one anyways, what it is, so. I'm guessing Stacy and down the clerk's office has just been shuffling them through.
Yeah. So why don't we just pick a figure, 10,000, throw it in? Some sort of.
I can grab my budget to see if it kind of gives me an indication there, but I don't think it's a whole ton of money.
So if we added 10, so we got 23 plus 66 is 89 and 10 is 89.
Yeah.
On the water side.
So. Are these numbers that? And this 10-year projection, water sewer general, Harry sent.
But the bond these payments are all supposed to be figured into that.
They're all figured, okay,
Yeah.
they're all figured.
And then
into this.
it was based on the budget plus 7%.
The annual, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the answer is not good,
Gotcha.
not for water tower, operational expenses. And specialty, which would be the arsenic for the whole redevelopment.
So. For the water,
Is there anything else? Oh, there was another thing about water. Let me see if I can just.
So that would mean what Carrie's figures plus price 75,000.
for water,
Yeah, 67 for redevelopment and for operation.
And the other issue that I don't really know the answer to is that according to the audit. As of June 30, 2025, the water fund owed other funds, the general fund, $36,249.
Perhaps we don't say anything.
all right,
Easily in comparison.
oh,
Well,
that
and,
in
you know,
the,
we
that's
seem
in the
to-
draft audit that was sent
We
out.
seem to be
yeah.
adding a lot
Yeah, I
to the
didn't
water
make it
budget.
through that, yeah.
Yeah, I just looked for a couple of years here. This is. Yeah, they've been corresponding on sheet 73 on the sewer side,
Which page of the audit is?
7.
page 7. Yeah, page 7 of the audit has the, essentially. Income and expense statement, asset statement, asset and liability statement, balance sheet.
So for water budget adders, we've got. Call it 202,000 every year for the loan.
Yeah. Yeah, of which the 190 something is already in the budget, based into, it's in the current rates, I should say. It was figured into the current rates, so it's only the difference between our guests last March.
Oh, so, okay, so that 190, okay,
So, yeah, the 190,
195 that we put in.
yeah, that
Is
was,
actually 202,
it's actually more like 220.
27, I think.
so it's 227,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's an additional 22 or 23,000. 67,000 for the well redevelopment and 10,000 throw it in for operational expenses.
Right, but I wanted to break them out,
Okay,
I want to get them in my notes broken out.
okay,
Yeah,
So so this payment that is in Carrie's spreadsheet. Is not correct, this 201, or is it?
couldn't be because that's not the figure.
For the water?
oh, okay, I guess it is 2.
So
So I think that is right.
the loan. We're just gonna round it up to 202 even. 202,000. And then the 10,000 we were gonna do for tank expense. Is that what you were?
Yeah,
Yeah, so the 202 minus the 195 that we already put in is what we actually need for the bond, so it's less than I was thinking.
Alright, so tank expense was 10,000, and what was in this audit?
Oh, for the water, it was 36 something, page 7.
Let's see, too far.
36.
So I'm just gonna write out through the audit.
Since 36.
did you get us online?
I'm just recording on MWA's account, also here in minutes and recording. I can't log in as. Not the
Alright,
host.
so 26,000.
Oh, something.
Alright, so we got the loan, the tanks, the estimated tank expenses, the old for the audit. And then anything else?
That's all that I know.
So 8. We'll take 195. Yeah. We gotta add another 43,000 to the budget number that we used
Okay,
for water.
Is that annual need or is that
Yes.
one time?
Annual,
Okay.
well, for
Well, that's actually to get.
for this,
to the 40
next rate we're in,
So
next fiscal year.
that's gonna be spread over the next 2 quarters, not rather than 4 quarters.
yeah,
So 43, rounded off, 44 divided by 2, we have to add 21.5 a quarter.
Yeah.
Right, so. Probably the logical place to do that is just to spread it across the fixed rate or base rate.
yeah. I was trying to
So
work,
it's an equitable.
Yeah.
Bump.
Yeah, because it's all. It's
technically, if you look at it, anybody who is under the 13.5 is paying more per gallon, so maybe the more equitable way would be to add that on to the over 13.5. So, we had 811 for the per gallon. If we increase that, I was trying to come up with more exact workings of what is above and what is below.
Yeah, that's hard until we really have all the meters in.
Yeah.
To really know where that's going to come out, because that once the whole city's meter, when we see a quarter or two, that 13.5 figure is gonna need to go. Be changed long term.
It's gonna go down for sure.
Yeah.
We can add it in there or spread it across all 3 breakdowns, which is what would happen, because if you raise the under 13.5 rate, that goes into the base rate.
Mhm.
I can play around with those things and see. I did double check the figures of the spreadsheet. It was very interesting because water was very close to what the water faucet were for that particular quarter.
Say that again.
The water income was very close to what the projection was for that quarter. For
income.
our rates, not knowing what the
Yeah,
usage,
yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
so.
Yeah, and we're headed into the 2 lowest quarters now in terms of usage as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm thinking that. Putting too much of this on the usage rather than the base
Mhm.
could short us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's 21 5 per quarter, the next 2 quarters. Split amongst the base rate for all users. Which is what, 1,800 and something,
Around 17.
Yeah, 1790.
95 or.
talking like
About-
$3, $4.
We just call it, it average it at 18.
No, wait, $12. Yeah, 11.94.
But you have to realize also that that's gonna be prorated into the rate that is under the 13.5 too. Because the two tie together. If you take 13.5 times the spread in the two rates, it equals what the base rate is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So literally, if you are over 13.5, every single gallon you buy is at $8.11 a gallon.
Per thousand.
Per thousand,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say.
Well, I've been trying to drop double zero.
It's really cheaper to just keep them drinking beer.
That's true. Okay, so. How are you gonna break that, how are you gonna prorate that then? Per, how many users there are for commercial, residential?
There's no difference in rate, so it's gross number of users.
Okay, so what are you prorating?
Prorating what's going to be the base rate, but well, I guess if we say, yeah, it will be in the base, either way into the base rate, I guess, I will say that way.
Okay,
It will be in the connection fee,
Right, it'll be in everybody's connection.
yeah.
how do we? How are we actually adjusting the base rate or be coming up with the even share based on the? Or is this just a one-time fee added onto the bill? Like, how are we representing?
Well, this is
the
going to be part of the base budget board.
Right, going for
Yeah.
Okay.
quite a while.
And
Okay.
after the next 2 quarters, the bond payment and well, the credit due to the general fund, if we wipe it out in the next 2 quarters, that drops out for fiscal year 26, 27. We won't have to have that anymore.
Mhm.
And then this,
And that's the 34 or whatever?
yes, and then the well analysis one, the 66,000 one, that's not an annual thing, is it? That's
5 years, 10 years?
And that is in here now,
It was,
but it's not.
well, it was in the sinking fund that they took. There was 100 and something thousand in there, and because it was cash,
it's not.
they took it, not realizing that we'd already signed a contract to have the two wells
We need to put
redeveloped.
it back on the income side so that we really have it to pay the bill
Yeah.
when the bill comes.
So then we're actually looking
Has that work
for.
been done?
Mhm.
Has that work been done?
Has it been done? No,
Okay.
no.
Not.
So we may only do one.
Yeah.
We're getting late in the year. and
Yeah.
They know it.
100,000 over the next 2 quarters,
Oh.
right? Cause that, we didn't even.
Plus 60.
60 even or 66,
Like 66.
Yeah, it's actually 100.
110,000 we need over the next 2 quarters.
So 55
Oh,
per billing.
And what was, that was the well survey,
Redevelopment.
well redevelopment.
Yeah.
that's $61.
So yeah, a couple of those things. So
What, just taking that, dividing it by the users? That's not affordable.
That's what,
He's saying it's $61 if you just divide it by the number of accounts. And right now, our base rate is 64, so that brings doubles the base rate.
Mhm.
that's over that's over 2 quarters or one.
That's if we're in one lump bill to everybody, so
Oh,
30
one lump
30
bill,
bucks,
they'll cut it
30
in
bucks
half.
a quarter.
$30
So
a
50%
quarter.
increase per quarter,
Increase.
and you're saying you expect that number to drop back down once we get in that, get out of the red.
Oh, yeah, that's going to knock out about 90,000 of it after the one time. Item.
Mhm.
And then, hopefully by the time we're building next year's budget, we'll have one more quarter under our belts, I guess, by the time we do that for this year.
Yeah. $30.
I haven't figured out how to shut this one off, so it will stop.
But yeah, some of that.
Press the button
on the side, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a chunk of that that goes away, so, yeah, conceivably.
And it's 20K a quarter to, from that point on. You said
And
one,
it would be,
Yeah, the difference would be about 20,000 a quarter.
Yeah, but-
okay. So then we're back down to the 11.
Yeah, so we could actually get together 6 months from now and conceivably
Lower the rate.
lower the rate.
Can we consider what we can do to postpone? Do we have to pay back the general fund? We don't know what it is.
Well, I thought we did. And that was in the
Well,
audit.
we've got the figure from the audit report, but nobody's been waving that red flag too loudly at me, and like the water sewer one,
So.
What page do you see that on?
so,
same page as the sewer. one.
Well, this is last year's though.
Yeah.
That they owe it from,
Yeah,
the audit, so
But we've got a
we
real.
could still stretch it out over.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Because we don't know what the more current figure is in terms of what's owed now. Well, although Stacy gave me something.
so the well redevelopment,
nobody's asking for it right now. We can't possibly say you're gonna have a $60 a quarter increase.
30, but yeah.
30 a quarter.
Right.
If we're gonna figure that.
Well, 61 was as if we were to bill it all at once.
Okay, all right.
so if we revisit this well redevelopment fund, so we signed a contract for it. When would the money be due? Is this a next spring project,
It was supposed to be a this year project.
but could it be done? is
When
it
I got
something
back
done
on-
in the winter?
When I got back from, no,
I
probably
think so,
not.
yeah.
So when I got back from my vacation, I emailed them.
Yeah.
And said, hey, it's Weston Sampson
Yeah.
that does it. What's going on, Tom? And he goes, oh, we got kind of caught behind. I said, well, it's gonna start getting pretty cold up here.
Yeah.
And I can reach back out to, maybe best case scenario, they at least do one.
Yeah.
And put the other one off till after July of next year and.
Well, I was just thinking that if because of the time of year we're in, if it's spring work and we could
Not have to bill for that right now.
not have to bill for that right now.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him and ask him.
I'd be,
I was assuming when we signed it in the spring, early summer, that it was gonna be done
Yeah.
before now, but.
probably redeveloping dry wells right now.
Yeah.
A lot of dry wells out there.
Yeah, there, so maybe it's not a bad thing, but no, we've had no issues.
Because we need a rate by. When's next?
23rd.
There's a council meeting Monday night, but we could have a special meeting a week from Monday, which would be the 30th.
Right.
Which would squeak us in.
30th is Thursday.
I can't remember. I've got to look at the calendar.
Right, this coming Monday is the,
Okay, yeah, so this coming Monday, the 20th, there's a meeting. We could have a meeting on the 27th
okay,
Right.
and, this group, if we had to, in terms of at least me next week, we could get together either Tuesday or Wednesday if we had to.
this next week is going to be my last meeting for. Probably a month.
Okay, I'm not here Tuesday.
So it means Wednesday.
So Wednesday,
Right,
yeah, so there are conflicts.
I may be able to call in on one of them or two of them, but. That would be about it. Cause I'm not gonna be in the state.
Back your computer with you, with your spreadsheets.
Well, I know one place I'm gonna be doesn't even have cell service.
Those are
And
the
then-
places we like.
Unless you wanna see me in a hospital bed.
By design.
I don't wanna call in from the other one either, so.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. You can feel down enough in the hospital, that you
Yeah.
don't need to have a important meeting.
Dead cloud over your head as well. Yeah.
So what we could do on this, that 36,000 item on the water is just ignore it for now
Yeah.
and see what Chip has to say.
I would, you know, it's something I would say we don't breathe the word of, if they breathe the word of it, we'll say, oh, yeah, we were waiting for you to say something.
Well,
This is the 36,240,
249.
yeah.
I have a little different take on. it. So if we put that in now. And we can postpone the redevelopment. And start building that 3/4 from now. I think whatever number we develop now could just carry through. So in other words, if we leave
Yeah,
the loan, we have to leave the loan. The tank expenses, which we're just throwing the number out in case Tom has to do something. And the owed per audit, if we leave those in there for the next 2 quarters, they'll be paid for. Then we take the well redevelopment and replace those two with that. We might be able to coast through 3 to 4 months without going back.
Yeah, we'd be able to
Interesting.
replace half of the, one-shot credit item with the well redevelopment.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
and so we'd only be looking at having to come up with half of it, all of that,
right.
Or rearrange if the case is necessary.
yeah.
I mean, nobody's asked for that money, but to throw it in, that would, most logical would be to carry it through.
Yeah.
Whether it be well redevelopment or pay back this,
And that's what I'm,
yeah,
there's also
Yeah.
perceptions of this like roller coaster of
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
adjustments,
Or, yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
rates
steadier the
don't-
rate, the more it makes it
predictable.
Yeah,
look like we know what we're doing.
Well, and the other thing you can do, as opposed to postering it up and down, is if you would otherwise be looking at lowering it. But we're not properly funding reserves, is to
Right.
shift that money
Yeah.
into a reserve.
Yeah.
but you're limited to the amount you can do every year, so.
Well, that's true,
Yeah.
but we're,
It still accrues in that.
we're not necessarily hitting.
We
Yeah,
still.
we're not hitting that limit.
And we still probably at some point, we're probably gonna need more money for meters.
Mhm.
Cause
Yeah.
whatever we have left from the tower is not gonna cover the total cost
Okay.
of,
Right.
There's what,
Finishing up the
300,000 you
meters.
thought left over or something?
we were hoping 200 to 300,000. What was the number? We were thinking it was more over 350, 400, wasn't it, for parts? If I remember right.
Oh, the total price out, yeah.
For us to build out.
About 700 meters. There's 699 residentials we need, I think.
Yeah. So how, just real roughly, how many meters are in at this point?
I didn't check with the guys today. We had a couple other things going on, but I think this week actually is a little bit slower than the past, but we're averaging 4 to 7 visits a day.
Nice.
That doesn't mean they're all installs.
So
We had a few actual lead and copper ones today, so.
Patrick, you do that, if you do the whole 110 over 4 quarters,
Mhm.
what does that do to the base rate? Or the connection rate?
Over 1,800 divided by 4,
Yeah,
1528. Not that bad,
that's not that bad.
it's 25% increase.
We did a $16 increase to the
Yeah,
connection.
you wanna like plug some of these numbers in? I feel like I've got these spreadsheets from last time.
Well,
So, just so I'm clear, cause that was kind of distracting for
Yeah.
me. What you're reading off those numbers, those are essentially from your expected unaccounted for, expenses that we can kind of project, right? Cause we got the well redevelopment one, what was the other one?
The
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 loan,
loan, which, right,
Yeah.
okay.
The tank. Let's just call it tank mate.
And what is that? That's
That's
the
the-
new one?
That's the new one, just in case he has to do something up
Okay,
there.
okay, so there's a chance that we don't actually even utilize that money that
Correct.
we're raising.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
chances are, our biggest expense would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone will go. electricity, but
Yeah.
likelihood of the rest of it
Right.
is slim.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will cover other things that we aren't projecting for sure,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
Right,
Okay. And so with the wells, um. This is like a, you know, routine and, routine preventative maintenance measure. So like putting it off for 6, 8 months isn't gonna result in our water
No.
production rate plummeting. Yeah.
no, I mean, the only question for me would be if they're gonna be late getting here or not gonna be able to get here. Would be to say, hey, okay, we're okay, but will you hold your price?
Oh, for next year.
You know, for next year, otherwise, I don't know what I'm looking at for an increase, and then we're just, you know. And best
Worth
case,
asking.
yeah, oh yeah, and best
Yep.
case scenario would be say, hey, you know, can you at least come up and do one? And
Yeah,
then come back July 1 of next year and finish do the second one.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
that would be best case scenario for us.
How quickly do you think you can negotiate that?
I'll call them tomorrow and talk to them.
This is Weston Sampson.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they New Hampshire or something?
You still get a Waterbury office?
Is it? Okay.
I think he's out
Or are
of,
they
I
out
think
of-
Tom Hydro's out of Mass, I think, but
Is he out of the Mass office?
yeah, I think so. But no, I'll
Their headquarters is Peabody, Mass.
I'll give him a call tomorrow and ask him.
Peabody.
It's Peabody.
I was like, whoa, whoa.
I'm a born and raised Mass.
Peabody. That's good.
Peabody,
That's a good laugh, thanks.
who's he?
Yeah,
That's like Callis and Calais.
yeah, Kelly,
Or trying to refer to Darby line, yeah.
who says that?
They got broken of it.
Okay, so the effect of rate increase on income 4/28/25 clean, this is Jennifer's manipulation
Okay,
spreadsheet.
all right.
Do you want me to make a copy of this and date it today?
Yeah, you might as well,
Work with
yeah,
that?
send it to me, I just did it.
Can I throw a wrench in the works?
Yeah,
Oh,
before we spend time doing anything else, yeah.
Since we're talking about raising rates and this doesn't leave this room, I'm glad we're not, nobody's.
It is being recorded.
Okay.
Before you say we can say.
Maybe I won't.
So you can sign it.
No,
Sure, yeah, but.
so,
Hold on.
I mean, the only person that really knows,
Okay, we're recording again because we were done talking about potential personal hiring. But we have to account for potential additional expenses. That would adjust the rate increase. To support this additional hired person. And the verdict was 119. Plus 30.
Plus
Just
10.
10, plus 10, okay.
Plus 10.
30 would be to the sewer.
30 would be the sewer, right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so over 1,800 users across 4 quarters, it's $17.92. Added to the base rate. And that's supporting a quarter time of this person. Okay.
Great. As it was.
So what would that bring it to, like almost 17?
1792.
1792.
It was basically 65. 82.
So when we say to the base rate, it would, there's a handful of rows.
Yeah, that's,
So every type of base goes up by 1792?
yeah, what I tried to do, was pull out what was below the minimum usage and adjust for that. In figuring the rates. I decided I probably should realign that, which is what I was doing most of today.
Can you say that another way?
No, probably not,
Okay,
because it's
okay.
not clearly a really good explanation. As a matter of fact, I was thinking you once said you should write how you got this figure. When I'm looking at one of these things saying,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Headers, notes, comments, they go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, it just, you try various and sundry things. But that's the spreadsheet that came really close to what we did for August.
Okay.
So,
Oh, in terms of, yeah, we're
Yeah.
close, yeah.
yeah,
So, but when we're adding 1792, we have to do industrial water base.
it goes into all of the bases, but it's also going to, let me think, I guess that particular formula doesn't have to exist. There's a way where you can, if you're over the base rate, then it's one figure that you can do for all of those gallons and come up with a connection fee and the variable rate. So let me see about adding this amount. We'll just do it as the dollars. So
Okay.
it's 129,000 over 4 quarters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
and
so
I'll get
now,
you that figure because it'll probably be roughly that, and maybe a little less.
129, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And 1,800 users? Yeah, okay. I feel like we should put down in some sort of meeting notes that your breakdown to the 119. Can I get that from you? Thank you.
No, 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 sewer.
Are you getting any ground on the
You're
very top
finished
of
with
that?
that, Patrick, I'll take it.
Little bit.
Give it back.
Okay.
Just so we make some.
Also, if we're doing an install and they haven't been done, we're gathering it then, so.
Like you identified before, you're also mapping at the same time, people haven't, they know where to address.
Yeah. Try to capture everything we can.
Are the signs still working? You think,
Really ask whether people are picking it up from there.
That's the one that's gonna really gonna.
Mhm.
Sewer, what I've had written down so far is the other 30, if the Pedro thing works. And then the loan payment, I got some numbers from Pasumsek, and the way that the sewer loan paying back to the general fund is being structured, that's the one where the voters authorized it for $1 million. Anyway, the actual figure comes in at 873,592 something, so I rounded it off to 874, just to have a working figure. But the way that the payments are being structured is they're going to be due essentially 5 days after each billing due date for water and sewer. So the first payment is going to be December 20th of 2025. So that means that in the current fiscal year, we have 2 more billings, but we have 3 payments on that loan. And so, and I'm not sure which of the 2 options. I don't know if we're locked in. The bank offered the city 2 options. So and they gave me the payment based on the option that has a slightly lower upfront interest rate. But I took tried to figure the other option, which is a fixed rate for the full 10 years that the loan would run. And they amortize them over 10 years rather than 20. And so anyway, what I came up with is that the payments would be uh. 28,101 plus 2570. Anyhow, the total of three payments for the current year would be $91,803. And then we've got the 30,000 that I mentioned, and I don't know of anything else on sewer offhand.
Well, that 30,000, didn't you guys say it should be more than 40?
It's 40, but 10 goes to water.
Right.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah,
So
you're right.
this is what
We got it.
Carrie sent for that 875 for 10 years. Is that right?
Well.
So that would be the total for a year.
Well,
but we've got
that was based on annual,
Okay,
and. Yeah, so the way it works out is the final payment would be September 20th, 2035,
I don't think I'll be here.
and.
And that's the 91. You had a slightly different figure.
Well, the 91 is based on three payments due in the current fiscal year because of the timing. It's a timing issue, and then in the following years, it obviously would be 4 payments, one each quarter.
Because we're not starting until the second
so
quarter.
what's,
Well, we have 2 more quarters of income, but 3 quarters of out. Well, we have 3 quarters of income if you figure the billing that's gonna go out November 1st, that will not include any cash towards this payment.
Because there's not enough cash.
So we have to figure
It's a
collect,
shortfall.
we have to figure collecting 3 payments worth of money in
On
2
two payments.
billings. So that's where I came up with. So the payment is, well, 28. Yeah, this is an approximation. 7,500. Yeah, so using the higher interest rate figure, because I don't know which way the council's going, or if it's even made a decision on this point yet. The risk with going with the one that has slightly lower payments up front is that it's fixed for 5 years and then it's variable after that. Whereas if we do it the other way, it's fixed for the full 10 years.
Really? They do that to you? Who signs up for that?
It's,
We're desperate.
Yeah, jeez.
well,
I can't believe they'd offer a municipality that. I mean, I guess if they think you're fools, but
yeah.
it could go.
We're just a customer like anybody
It could
else.
go, I guess.
Well,
Well, if they're looking at the past records, it's probably being generous to us.
Well, yeah, I mean, the bad part about the variable obviously is not knowing what rates are gonna do.
5 years from now,
out,
yeah.
if you haven't budgeted for a significant rate increase,
Yeah.
you're automatically in the hole in year
77%. Interest starts hitting the table and yeah. What is the fixed rate offer?
4, well, let me see here.
your spreadsheet,
Yeah.
7%? Oh, no.
No, that's the annual, okay,
annual.
so I'll read you what the 2 offers are. 5.29% fixed for 5 years, adjusting every 5 years thereafter, based on the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston 5-year rate plus 1.15%. Or 5.69% fixed for 10 years, adjusting. And this was based on the premise that the city might want to go 20 years rather than 10. Adjusting for the remaining 10 years based on the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston 5-year rate. Plus 1.45% fixed for the remaining 10 years. But what Rick told me is that. The way he described it to me is that the intent is to simply pay it off in 10 years period.
And where are we getting the money?
Well, that's our job.
I told you I was gonna be here in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's,
Definitely not
I
now.
don't know if any of us.
that's a point of clarification, I think, because I think the bank is operating on the premise that it's gonna be a 20. And.
Well, we can't
what
afford
Rick,
anything less than 20
what
probably.
Rick was telling me was that it would be a 10.
And yeah, and that's the spreadsheet that carries on now,
And
too,
the-
is their 10-year.
Yeah, and the bank gave me an amortization based on 10. Although it sounds like they were offering to go up to 20. If you were willing to take the risk of the adjustment, the intervals.
Hmm.
It's a scary deal.
Hmm,
Yeah. Yeah, when you're trying to budget this far ahead, anything that's a variable interest rate is scary.
Yeah,
is there a prepayment penalty?
I was just gonna ask that.
That I don't know.
Well,
I might
And
have,
are there
It's
any
a
other
small rate
loan
of 20 to pay it off early, if there's no penalty.
opportunities
Mhm.
for a unsecured loan,
Well-
municipal debt?
yeah, well, Sumsic was the only bank that seemed to be really willing to talk to the city.
we're not in a.
Bargaining position.
I'm
Favorable
thinking
position.
5 to 10 years down the road, you know,
So you refinance.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's no, I mean, it's not like a bond that generally does prohibit prepayment.
If you're better off down the road, pay it off early or.
Yeah.
Refinance it,
Yeah.
but
It might still even be worth the penalty.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
As
yeah.
much, depending on the spread, yeah.
yeah.
right now you got somebody willing to play ball, you can't. get
Yeah.
that.
So anyway, what I did was I was figuring it based on the higher interest rate to lock in for 10 years and paying it off in 10 years, and that's how we came up with the number that I came up with. Figuring we're working with worst case scenario, and you know, if it turns out we do something that's easier on the cash flow, we can always adjust it downward. Or again, put it towards reserves. No. And other than those two items, I personally don't know anything about anything else we need to do to the sewer side of it.
There's no major upgrades that are required and not proposed or
I was
potential.
told not to worry about that, we'll worry about it when it happens.
Mhm.
And maybe there's money and funds out there, but I mean, right now I've got an RFQ out for. You know, a preliminary,
Upgrade.
look at the wastewater for its 20-year review,
Mhm.
which will initiate maybe. An upgrade or maybe not,
And you have money in hand for that RFQ?
no.
Okay. What does that run? 50K? Already on that. You're not doing.
Who's, are you writing the RFQ or is?
I've already submitted one out,
Oh,
so. Of course, A&E's gonna
respond.
submit, I've had probably 5 or 6 entities
Yeah.
interested, but. And it'd be, to be honest, I'm gonna probably have maybe our group look at them, but,
right,
we could decide either way, but yeah, A&E's been doing our engineering for the past 25 years, I would.
Yeah.
They know our system better than anybody.
um. Yeah, I mean, them submitting quotes doesn't cost us anything.
No.
No,
It's when you accept,
Yeah.
so.
When was the
But that
last
shouldn't
time
be
you
that
had one
much
of
money.
these? 20 years ago?
well, the plant was upgraded in 2007.
So these are,
Every 20 years, you're expected to do a study. The state hasn't even issued us our permit.
Yeah.
They've been sitting on this for forever. So we don't even know what we're looking at, what changes or what might be coming down the road, but. I mean, at this point, we know we haven't been using our digester for a few years now.
Ah. Nice. to
So
mention.
whether we wanna go back to that, you know, it does add. There are issues with not using the digester, but on the other side of it, using the digester, we couldn't control the methane. Which for us was a bigger problem at the time. So, I don't know, that'd be an engineering
That's-
question,
yeah.
decide. Where the city should be going in the next 20 years.
If you use the digester, is it feasible to do what some of the farmers like Maxwell and Shopit do and collect the methane and burn it to generate electricity?
Well, see, we were, and technically you're supposed to have a flare too, so if you can't, if you generate, your burner can't burn it off. You're supposed to use a flare, we haven't had a flare down, and from what A&E was at the site today. Doing their little preliminary before they submit their RFQ. And as many communities have been struggling with their flares. You couldn't keep the furnace going to burn the methane. Then we have the one tank.
As in
where-
like not enough supply?
Well, it's a different gas, so it's dirty, and we couldn't find people to work on it,
Hmm.
qualified people to work on it. Twice the tank would build up too much methane and blew the top. So we finally just said, okay, we just we can't handle this or deal with it, so we stopped using the digester. But when you stop doing that, you're creating more sludge, because you're not,
Respiring it,
yeah.
yeah,
And it poses some other issues and the odor issue
yeah.
at times.
And,
Now, we went all summer on a very dry summer and really didn't have any complaints. And all of a sudden we had like a 3-4 week period there where I was getting complaints, and why was we were getting low in the tank and it was getting thick. So we'll draw out of that big tank every day and put it into the 15,000 gallon tank that we then bring into the press. Well, they turned the mixers on. Once you turn those mixers on, that now we had an odor problem.
It's no different than driving by a farm during manure spreading
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
We got the aerators in the pit.
Sure, yeah.
And you can't draw out thick sludge. You gotta kind of mix it up, stir it up, so.
Interesting thing, I was up at Casella getting rid of trash. Never have I been there where it has really it was incredible.
Yeah.
All through the whole thing was so heavy with smell. It was,
Was it the leachate or just the dump?
all I was doing was dumping the trash in that area. I had never run
It's
into
just
it
this
before.
time of year where
Yeah.
the cold mornings and the air sits in the bottom of the valley.
Yeah.
It settles.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal, yeah.
So, okay, so we're not gonna earmark a certain number for,
When we sat down with Chip, and Chip said, don't even worry about that. That's, you don't even know what that's gonna be, and that could be a couple, 3 years out before
You
a
pay it.
project or whatever takes place, and then at that point, you'll have to figure it out.
Okay.
Which made sense, because who knows?
well, they're not getting out there and doing it over the winter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we don't think about it.
121,
So,
122,000
Yeah.
rounded up.
There's no potential for a complete shutdown event at all.
shut down at the plant?
Yeah, nothing.
Well, I shouldn't say that, but no, I hope not.
Low line area, we might get flood waters that shut down.
I don't think we'll get flooded, if we get a major rain, it's gonna come up quite a ways before you get to normal.
No,
Have you noticed how much shit's poking out of the banks at Gardner Park?
Oh, yeah.
Holy
We're gonna
God,
start finding bones.
it's archaeology. I found an axe head that I took home. It's gotta be. I found a couple of these now. It's,
140,000.
I gotta show you this thing.
Huh.
Yeah, just treasures poking out.
Oh, yeah.
Bottles.
Annually.
I know.
The wagon,
okay.
wagon axle.
Yeah, because
Sticking
using the
out
lower
the
interest
riverbed.
rate up to 112 or 428, but then I had to figure in.
Pretty soon all them logs will be exposed.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh,
All
goodness.
yeah. There's a lot of logs sticking out. It's all cribbing,
Yeah.
the whole bank. It's nuts. Gotta be down there
I-
100 years.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
I can see the original cribbing of the dock at my place,
Yeah.
and I never realized it was a double header. We'd seen part of it, but the other part just showed up,
Yeah.
yeah. And all the big rocks are all, in that particular area spread around over the
Mhm.
years, but
Mhm.
just amazing,
Yeah.
yeah. With the nails.
Yeah. So can I get another refresher summary as to what the,
Well, John
They're
just said he did something wrong, so we're waiting for
oh, okay,
him to double check his numbers.
cause I,
We were thinking 122,000.
and so the sewer,
Yeah, I
Oh, it was
inflated my figures.
the 873. to the
Well,
general
that's-
fund, right?
That's on the good side, then, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay, John. Yeah, what's that?
Hey,
What can you not that
Penny.
you figure that's just taking care of Pedro.
Yeah,
Hmm,
Yeah, Mike, instead of the 91,803 I gave you, it's actually 86,889,
86, 89,
so say 87.
so 87, okay.
sounds like the price of a pickup truck.
Okay,
That's
and
3/4, right?
For
Yeah,
3/4, we need to come up with 87.
yeah, so,
Then do we take the 30 and do it into 20 on the same sort of theory? We have 2/4 and.
Well,
goes to the rest?
3/4. We're thinking at least 5/4. Hopefully. So, yeah. So
Yeah,
5/4, so we just do 6,000 on top of the 87, so 95,
Right,
93,000 per quarter. Is what we'd be looking for, five. At least for the first 3/4, and then we can reassess after 3. Yes.
okay, I've been lost. So. Let me back up, where do we, what amounts to the 87 figure?
The 87 is what, the 87,000 is what we need.
the first 3 payments on
The first 3 payments.
sewer to general fund loan.
We need
Sheriff-
87 divided by 3 is what we need per quarter.
Yeah, and, yeah, the problem is that the timing of the payments is such that we need to cover 3/4 worth of payments in
And
2
two.
income billings for the first year. And then after that, it'll cycle out 4 payments, 4 billings, or even out, we should say, 4 payments, 4 billings. Yeah.
So. What is, well, I guess we should see what it does too, because our number of sewer users is
Almost the same.
almost, but not quite.
Well, there are at least 30 less houses on my side of town.
Well, no, as a matter of fact, it does come significantly under, 1,500.
1,500.
That makes more sense.
So if we do that, if we do 90,
14,
that 93,
We're doing that over quarters.
93 divided by 3 divided by 1,500.
We've got to do that over 2 quarters because. of the
Oh,
fact
2
that-
quarters. So 93,000. By 2
48.
divided by 1,500, that's $31. To the sewer. To the sewer connection rate,
Did you do that based on 3/4 or 2/4?
2/4, because
Okay.
it's gotta be paid in 2.
And there's 1,422 sewer folks, is that what your number is?
I think he used 1,500 when he did that.
Yeah, we've been adding, I got 1473 when I did a rough add of what the billing was, the last billing.
Yeah,
So I just added it to 1,500.
okay. I don't wanna round up when we should be rounding down. Because we don't wanna assume we have more people paying into the fund than may actually be paying. into the fund.
Okay,
We wanna round-
1475.
Okay. I just don't wanna over account for 25 hookups,
So 1,475 people
yeah,
or
Yeah.
connections.
Yeah.
3153.
Just don't know how many of these might be, part-time.
Where are we up to, about $50 a quarter between the two?
Around the usage.
Oh, no, we had to put the 93,000 over 2 quarters.
Right.
And that's it. So, two. 575, that's 31.50.
Usually 3150.
What's 31.50?
That was the rate.
Increase.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, can you check all of these? Because that spreadsheet wasn't updated for the,
31.5254237.
Yeah, that was
Exactly.
let's round.
3153, yes, you're there.
One of the more interesting requests from downstairs was the next time we establish rates, could we get rid of these idiot cents, like $8.11? Why couldn't we have made it?
So I was
$8.10?
just gonna advocate for that because we're at 49.45. So. If we wanna play with if we wanna play with numbers so that they start being just flat. 0 cents, now's your opportunity, you got 65 cents, 55 cents to play with.
It's looking at 45.
That's the base rate for sewer plus the base rate for water increase. We're looking at 40 between the two.
Combine the two.
Yeah.
increase.
So you could like. I feel like as long as we're 50 or low or below. I don't think we can go any higher without a revolt. Mutiny.
Yeah, I would agree, that if we can say that, even if we say that your rate is going up $50 for combined water and sewer.
Right. Which is, $15 a month, $16 a month.
Be gone, 50 cents a barrel.
What was the total combined factor?
49.45.
49.45. So just
Round it to 50,
round it to 50 and put
gives you a little extra fluff
a
and
little in each one and
18 to water and 31 to 31, 32 to sewer, yeah.
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 Let me work on putting those into that.
Right. Yeah, 18 in water, 32 in sewer, and
I'm sure we're using the right figure.
then I leave town next Friday.
Some people. are just-
Better shut off your water before you go.
So in terms of timing, with the council meeting Monday night, is it probably not feasible to have this put together in some kind of a.
Let's see if we can work it into the rates that easily. I mean, I don't know that we can work it fully just into the base rate. Because I think some of the accounts we use are not base rate accounts. We're talking accounts which includes both,
Why wouldn't they be?
because we got some that are
For
quirky. They're quirky accounts, there's a
seasonal
non-resident
stuff.
water and stuff like that. And so they should have the same increase, we're sort of basing that it is, but we'll have to see if it works through.
Right.
It should, but it just.
Well, are seasonal in that number?
That's what I was taught.
Seasonal sewerage says they're just getting 10. What is that?
Seasonal is just, it's a proration.
So they still get a quarterly bill?
Yeah, most of them do.
Certainly doesn't look it. It looks like they just get $10.
No,
Cause I'm looking at spreadsheet. You did, Jennifer.
Yeah, is there just a few people on Ferret Street that have the above ground pipe that get billed only seasonally?
no, that is a different classification. Um. The seasonal, there are, I don't know what the total seasonal is right now. The seasonal is about 1/4 of the regular rate. I don't know what it says on there, and on some of them, I didn't bother to put them
It
into the
didn't, yeah,
spreadsheet.
yeah.
Because it varied as it went. Okay. Seasonal order on the ledge is 4.
Yeah.
And then we've got another seasonal. Mhm.
Number of seasonal, yeah, just 4.
So it's not.
There's another quirk number that's there. Swimming pools we have to adjust for.
Once everybody's metered, the swimming pool category goes away anyway. Because
Right,
they
they pay
don't
it.
run water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, but we. still-
Why, hold on, so now we're talking about, we're talking about more into prorating territory than just flat adjustments.
Right, because the swimming pool isn't a count as a user, do they?
No,
That's just a sale. That's
That's
just,
a
that's
thing.
just profit.
Right, we only need users, so if the ledges are considered users and they're in that 1790 number.
Ledges are a proration because they're only 2/4 or 3/4 and,
Yeah, cause we can only supply them during the summer months. It's,
yeah.
most of that water line sits on top of the, right on top of the ground.
Their August billing was $195.
So do you think they're in that 1790 number? As far as.
Yes,
There's only 4 of them, so.
yeah. Everything's basically in that number. Swimming pools were taken out. Yeah. So. I think if looking at this. Even all of those sheets which I should. And you see there's one that's seasonal here. Okay, seasonal on annual basis. I think annual or quarterly, 5 quarters? 1 year, 543. So I guess right now they're at 143 a quarter. Going to 195, so 195 quarter, 200 quarter. Is what those 4 people pay, so, yeah. It's about $50 a piece.
A quarter for 2 to 3 quarters. So either way, we're not really worried about it.
No,
So,
so I took some of those things out of the calculation because it just did not make any difference.
Okay.
No,
Yeah. So some number crunching, so sounds like we get together Wednesday, well, when we started, we were starting to talk about that other question that they want to bring to the council Monday night about how you prorate when you put a meter in partway through a quarter. And what kind of a cutoff date you establish? In other words, do you say that in the quarter in which the meter is installed, you're still billed at the fixed rate for that quarter and you don't start on the meter until the next full quarter? Or do you pick a date and say that if the meter was installed in the first half of a quarter, you'll be billed on a meter rate prorated out over the entire quarter.
So your average daily usage applied to the whole quarter.
Right. Or you pick a 50-50 split date, and if you're on. If you have the meter for less than half the quarter, you just stay on the fixed rate for that quarter, and they're. Downstairs, they're apparently looking for some guidance as to how to handle the issue.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna ask one more question. Just to add to that, is do we have a strong inclination as to whether we lose money or earn less money post meter installation versus pre? So if it's in the best city interest to build them the base rate until the start of the next quarter, then I think we should do that because they're used to that bill already.
Mhm.
And if
We don't wanna lose money.
we're gonna lose money, we'd rather start fresh at a new quarter so that our data is clean going forward.
Except that's not going to inspire anybody for getting a meter early, so last, 2 weeks of the quarter, there's gonna be this incredible run.
I don't think people have that attitude.
so I guess, see, I would look to downstairs for direction.
Yeah.
What's the easiest?
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna overcomplicate it.
Right.
Well, they just want.
Yeah.
To pick a date, they don't want to be trying to prorate it on a per diem basis or anything
Okay.
that complicated.
So,
They want something much more straightforward in terms of. a
I would
formula.
say, John suggested the first month, if you install in the first month, you get the metered rate all the way through. I mean, we could split, for a month and a half, but maybe do it the month, yeah. So if you get a meter on whatever it is, November 10th, you'll be on the metered rate for the whole of the month,
The whole quarter.
whole of the quarter.
so who has to track that?
Yeah,
And how does it get entered?
contingent rec, yeah.
Stacy
Stacy.
currently is entering all of them as she posts the bills. So
So,
she has to enter all of them before she runs the billing report.
Enter all what?
All the meter,
what's unclear to me is how the people who are transitioning are billed for the transition quarter now.
she ends up where she puts them on the metered rate.
For the whole quarter. Based on their average daily usage.
Now, based on what their usage is.
So they're not even paying the first
So if you
part
get
of the
your,
month.
so if you get your
Yeah,
meter
that's
7
right.
weeks into the, or 9 weeks into the 12-week quarter, you're only paying for a month
3
worth
weeks,
of water,
yeah.
3 weeks worth of water.
I think that's what we now,
So that's really losing money.
I think we have to ask Stacy on that, we call up tomorrow. I mean, let's,
I agree with Patrick. I mean, if your meter's put in, we will start reading your meter at the start of the next
Next
quarter.
quarter.
I mean, that's what we said at the meeting, whatever. What was that meeting held for?
Budget,
Yeah,
Okay, budget, okay,
it was with Chip, wasn't it?
yeah.
yeah,
Chip and Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. I mean, as a ratepayer, I would want to start paying the metered rate as soon as possible, but. The nightmare billing wise and staffing wise here right now does not make it.
which is why
Feasible.
Stacy would.
That's how you
just all
start
of them over.
doing,
Yeah.
Plus
just
a lot
human
of
error,
money.
bad math.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Plus you're losing, you're losing revenue.
What we didn't
Yeah.
ask is. If it brings up a total usage. Will it build the flat rate?
If it raises the total usage,
Oh, when they download the guns,
See, and that would, what our decision would do is Stacy would have to enter all of those after she runs the building.
it
As
would
a-
have to be what the reading would be their start meter reading. Not, it wouldn't be zero any longer, it would be,
Right.
right. So when a reading downloads and says this person was fixed, but now you got this reading, that reading would become their start reading for that coming quarter.
Right.
We're making some assumption on how the system works.
We are. Cause we got no information on that.
Well, that makes sense, and I got my meter this past quarter. So if it reads 6,000 gallons to make up a number when you go around and read in our neighborhood. That rather than zero, that's simply my starting point for the following quarter. It's a pretty simple concept.
Yeah.
Because it's the starting point anyway for all the people that are already metered,
Right,
is the end game for the prior quarter.
you would think that would be the simplest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting this in our
We're-
notes.
We're assuming that the system is a dumb system too, and doesn't automatically
Right.
calculate when it sees usage.
Yeah, because otherwise, any other method is going to require a lot of manual override programming and
Yeah.
hand work
Yeah.
and create that much bigger workload.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so we can ask for clarification and then suggest that users be billed at the metered rate starting the next full quarter. And
Which is.
the unmetered billing rate applied until the start of the new quarter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Came up with that at the budget meeting.
Yeah.
And as long as people know that,
Mhm.
because with some, the way it's currently being done could, influence them that they have really, really low usage and then it goes to normal usage the next.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, I mean. The people, I mean, it's gonna be Stacy and the people downstairs that are gonna have to answer the phone call, and they're gonna get the phone call when the bill goes out, and they're gonna say, yes. You had a meter installed.
Mhm.
As of this bill, you are now being billed meterly, or based on your meter reading.
Yeah.
Which
But
brings up
we could do it partway through a quarter, you were already in.
Yeah, so that leads to one of their other requests downstairs that they made me, which is that there be some kind of insert that goes with the bills that explains. Adjustments will take place and probably explains this point as well.
Right.
yeah, I think that would be the right thing to do, given our limited capacity.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to just point people toward the council minutes and recordings, because it's all there, right?
Yeah, and then, but simply have a one-page cheat sheet that gets stuffed in with the.
Yeah.
Bills,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it won't increase the postage to the extra sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which will be good, because if they come in screaming and say, well, there was an extra sheet in your bill. There's one other thing, did Stacy mention accessory buildings to you?
Yes, she said there's an issue.
Dwelling units.
Yeah, ADUs.
Yeah, detached. Buildings,
Yeah.
that they don't, the information, if they put a meter, say there's a house. And there's an accessory building,
Mhm.
they put a meter in the house. She said they don't know if the accessory building is piped on its own, or piped through the.
They don't, but I'm pretty certain Vermont allows you to just tee off from the house.
That's fine,
So you-
but
you
if
can't-
they.
Is it going through the meter or is it not?
That's the question,
That's the
but,
question.
but you
He's
can't,
asking that be clarified and that it be put in when the meters are installed, that there's be an indication of what the status of the accessory building is.
so that's getting into the weeds, because you could do that with any irrigation system as well. You could plumb out your garden and your irrigation system pre-meter, you could do that with anything in your house, so like, I don't know how you guys are gonna verify that.
well, that's why the meter is, well, you're gonna verify it by going into having a guy at the meter, a guy go in the accessory. Building, turn the faucet on and see if the meter moves.
Are we really expecting people to do
Well, I
that?
don't know, but that's how you.
That'd be the only way you're gonna be.
Yeah, so can we
Yeah.
get, do we have a sense of how many ADUs there are? Because this sounds like, to me, something that needs to be in. Like the zoning permit, like if you're gonna have an ADU, cause there's not a lot of ADUs, I don't believe. Are there? Do we have a sense of that?
I don't know.
I mean, cause that could be a detached garage, too. Some guy could plumb his garage.
Yeah, I don't know how many detached ADUs there are attached, it's all in the same building, the same structure, so those are less of an issue.
She was talking about she said Highland Avenue is registered to, Steve Bros' old company, Newport Natural. But I'm
Oh,
not,
the old Brevard house next to the farm credit building, that's the veterinary office now, yeah.
okay,
And that building has had an apartment in the detached garage for 40, 50 years.
Well, the one with the little wall there, that
Yeah,
always got hit.
if you know where the farm credit building is,
Yeah,
it's the next
yeah, the
house
next
over.
house up, yeah.
Yeah. Um, There's been an apartment in that garage for many, many years, and who knows how that one is.
There's another one on, say that the house with all the tree that's on the front lawn on Sias Avenue has a building, an outbuilding off
Oh,
the,
yeah, I know that house, that
On
used to be
Hillside
the
Street.
Craft house,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that apartment's been there.
long time.
and then,
Well, I had delivered newspapers there on my newspaper route in the 1960s,
Oh, wow.
so it was there then.
okay.
At this
So
point,
the
that,
question is, if we're metering everybody,
so I guess if she can generate, I'll tell you, if she can generate an actual list so that, you know, some might pop into our head.
Yeah.
Certainly like built like the craft house, I mean, it's been there for a long time. Chances are, however it got fed from water, if there's a curb stop that feeds that other outbuilding, it's gonna be on the old map. That old map is pretty accurate.
okay.
Whether we're billing them or not, that'd be
Yeah.
a way to look at that.
And that
And
was-
other than that, as like
Yeah.
Paul said, we'd have to physically go there and,
Had two guys with walkie talkies talking to each other.
yeah,
I guess, yeah, like Stacy, but it didn't occur to me that this was something major. Yeah,
Well, I mean, and this is, I mean, unless you're
I think she
talking,
was assuming when you walked in, the pipe came into the house, and if you saw the outflow, you make sure. the meter
typically,
was on the
unless,
side.
unless there's a second service and we don't know about it. In order for them to, well, I guess you could get out and pick and shovel if you knew where our curb stop was and buy a wrench and shut your own off, but. If you wanted to tee off before it goes in the house, that would need
It's a big
you to
job.
shut that line
Yeah.
off and in
Yeah.
order to make that
I don't
happen.
think most homeowners are just
They're not
hacking,
gonna do-
hacking their way through that.
No,
7 feet
we're
down,
gonna go through the building, out the back and run it typically is what.
drill a hole through, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what she is asking, if it could be recorded, if there's something that's, you see.
I'll talk to her and ask her if she's got any kind of a list of
Yeah,
cases, maybe we can,
Yeah.
while we're investigating, we can make it part of our
Yeah.
task.
mhm. Because there is the story of the house that
That's,
existed for years and nobody, it was never billed for water or sewer until it was sold.
sure. At any rate, it's not something that one's gonna hold us up on recommendations. Two is going to likely affect long-term revenues. Until we start seeing ADUs pop up everywhere. I've thought about it in my yard. I have. But yeah, not a lot of people are moving on that. John, can you, just for these notes, can you remind me how you got to the 87 figure? Is it it's the 83 from the ode to general fund, right?
Okay, which one are we on, water or
Sewer,
Sewer.
sorry,
the sewer, the 2/4 87,000.
yeah,
Oh,
I just need the breakdown for where that number.
oh, okay, so that represents the first three payments projected on the loan based on the material that Sunset Bank gave me today. Because there are three payments due prior to June 30, 2026, but we have only two billing cycles in which
Make it
to
up.
recoup those funds.
Okay. And that is not the same number that we see in these. Or is that just,
That, it's not the same number that you see on those sheets from Terry.
okay,
Couple
that's
weeks
what I
ago.
was getting confused about,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that was based on rates that we estimated,
Right,
yeah,
it's hot off the press number from the bank today.
okay, and the 6,000 on top, what was that?
That was a proration of trying to figure the salary.
For the
The
additional
part-time
person,
Person, if we have to have such a thing.
so. Yeah. So we're only accounting for 16,000. In. Salary? We only accounted for 10 in water, shouldn't we be accounting for 30 in sewer? Not 6?
Yeah, over 4 quarters. So, So it's 30,000 divided by 4,
Okay,
which isn't quite right.
and aren't we paying? 87,000 for the loan over the course of, for 3 payments. That we generate enough money in 2 quarters,
Correct, because it's
Plus-
a timing problem.
plus the nearly 8,000 per quarter for this part-time employee, right?
Yeah, and then. Yeah, as far as the loan goes, after we get through this fiscal year, it'll be on a 4-quarter, 4-payment cycle, and it'll leave it out
So I think Patrick's saying that we haven't budgeted enough.
quite
for
enough
this
for the
last-
salary
Yeah.
position.
So 30/4, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're 1,500 short.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus. Okay, so all right, I'm getting there, I'm catching up. So the 87 number, by adding that and paying back 3 payments in 2 periods. We are then going to have to lower the sewer rate after those 2 payments are made. In order to raise enough per quarter to pay the loan quarter obligations, right?
Well, the budget for the coming fiscal year on the expense side will show 4 payments, 4 quarters.
Right.
So, yeah, we would be.
This will get us to the new budget,
We would be.
Yeah,
so we don't know what.
Comes next.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we can possibly cover if we suddenly have excess, so that we could put something in the capital reserve.
Right, sure, it should have been 117,000 added with the sewer budget.
117.
Right. 30 plus 87.
No,
We're
which,
just
Oh,
per
wait,
quarter,
no.
per quarter.
For a quarter,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'd be 97. For the first 2, for those first 2 quarters.
Excuse me, John,
Right?
maybe excuse for the wait. Might have to deal with something.
okay,
No,
thank you, Carl.
Thanks, Charles.
I see 94.5. 87 plus the 7,500 per quarter for part-time employee.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 7.5, yeah, not 10, yeah.
Okay, so 94.5.
Yeah.
Over 2 quarters over 1475,
75, yeah.
so 32 even. Actually, that's right, we're
That's
32
right.
over.
That's what you had before, we just did not have it documented right.
Okay,
Because I have 93, 1475, and 3153. So there
okay,
goes our
okay.
cents.
Yeah, damn. Okay, thank you for walking through that again.
Yeah, I think it was necessary, you think?
So it probably makes sense for us to have a short meeting Wednesday night next week to finalize this. And then the council can have a quickie meeting on the following Monday to bless all of this.
Mhm.
That sound reasonable?
How long do you guys need warning for that? The week ahead? is
Well, a
that
special meeting needs to be warned, I think only 48 hours ahead.
okay?
So
So
you can announce.
So-
it and-
if we send you guys something if we send Rick something on Thursday morning,
He can warn it.
he can warn it.
Yeah, they'll warn it by the end of the day, Thursday,
Okay,
and
it's not
we have to do it, so he could warn it
today.
at Monday's meeting if you wanted
Right.
to.
Yeah.
Right.
We got
No,
no
yeah.
choice, we have to have.
But when do we have to provide the materials for?
Right,
That's just
as
with,
long as he has the stuff Thursday next week,
okay.
that will be fine.
so Jennifer, are you,
I think I'm working on this tomorrow.
I was saying, you're willing to plug some of these increases in and
Yeah.
see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really didn't have much else planned. All right, where are we here?
oh, right, I was going to my calendar,
Okay,
so Wednesday the 22nd.
Yeah.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same thing, same place.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. I guess AI is working. I plug in the name and it says 6:30 PM.
Yeah,
I'm at
and that's that
6:30
too.
PM. Well, yeah, I opened my phone and it called voicemail, so that's, not knowing whether I trust any of these things.
Okay, 22nd, 6:30 PM.
Okay, what else was on our
I
agenda?
think we pretty much hit it for tonight.
I started playing, just a little side note, I started playing with some numbers. Of. Potential water loss stuff.
Oh, fun.
That's what I got.
No, I've been thinking about this a lot.
So if we back, so based on. Based on. What we know of Derby. I just did some rough averaging, so we're getting about 6 million gallons a quarter. From Derby in sewage. So if you look at what we treat for sewage. And this is just. Reverse engineering, this is not scientific at all, I would say we're looking at anywhere from a 15 to 25% water loss.
I worked at it differently and I got closer to a 50%.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Before you go on, back up again. So you have Derby's load coming in.
Right.
You have
so I
our
looked at the
treated-
total load of the
total treat
wastewater
load, yeah.
plant. I looked at the. Subtract Derby, what the average Derby is.
Because there's a big ass meter. Clocking how much comes in from that.
Apparently,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, okay.
So backed up Derby, so figured out what was coming in actually from the city.
Yeah.
You know, that.
And does that include like septage? Disposals? Do we get a lot of that? It's not millions of gallons per day.
Not millions.
Yeah, okay.
And that's only part of the year probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the winter, you only get emergency stuff, I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you figure that the average household. 80% of the water that goes into a house
So now,
goes out of the house.
is that just
That's how I
industry
work.
standard?
That's how I work the numbers,
Okay.
so
Did you just band the number of sewer connections we have?
I haven't gone that far yet. I'm just looking at
Because we get a
bulk numbers.
300 meter discrepancy
Hmm,
Yeah,
in that.
it's a big one.
Which
because
is-
the sewer line ends at Bogner on our side of town and everybody on the Lake Road out. Campbell's Cottages are the other three side streets are all septic
All the
systems.
bluffs,
So
But
I
did he
did not
walk?
take any of that into account.
yeah,
Parts of the
Right.
bluffs are.
Yeah, anywhere past
septic
Spruce
systems.
Street is,
Septic.
all on their own septic.
But your water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, because the city water goes all the way down to.
So does it balance out
Campbell's.
what's on sewer
Yes.
versus what's on water?
Yeah, everybody down the bluffs has access to water.
Yeah.
Sewer stops at Spruce.
So what was
So I'd
your,
have to look at those numbers to start fine tuning, but
yeah,
how did you look at things?
I looked at it differently of taking a average of what we were seeing in residential use.
Mhm.
And flowing that use times the number of uninstalled meters.
Yeah.
To come up with the gross gallons that they should be
utilizing?
utilizing. And it came roughly at 50%.
50%.
Wow.
Yeah, which I have to admit, I just sort of went back, I mean.
Oh, you're so coarse with it, you can't really hang your head on
Yeah,
anything.
that's-
The industrial ones that aren't hooked up are all minor, I've read the list, I mean, they aren't industries, they aren't big users, they'll come in, some will come in with, like an office with one toilet.
So. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because. I think. For preparing the next budget. I think we do. Need to. Do a leak study, whether it's. Put it out for bid. To,
Leak detection.
Alter leak detection company or.
Can you imagine you could take the it's treated with chlorine, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can find water surfacing that, you know, if like
Iron
this
chloride,
year,
yeah.
if you found a
Seep,
ditch that should have been dry or a creek
Mhm.
that should have been dry, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, you can,
Well, yeah, I don't even think you were here last meeting.
not,
I don't even think you were either. No, you were here. I don't know whether. I was saying like, I know that SciS is on the hook for a new water main eventually. And I was saying that the soils over there, you would never know if there was a massive leak.
No.
'Cause they would go right into the ground and never pop up again. It's
Never.
so well drained over there.
Yes and no. I mean, it depends. It's gonna get to the point where it's gonna get so saturated, something's gonna,
right.
you're gonna see it
Heave.
sooner, you're gonna see it sooner. or
I mean,
later.
you could. If you check that brook by the kennel or something like, because I dug for a sonotube out behind my house. And you get down 4.5 feet and you get into this gravelly water level. I mean, it's just
Glacial
like,
till.
you get down there and
Yeah.
it's just like quicksand, it just keeps coming in, it's like,
Hmm.
okay, this is where we're
Great.
stopping.
Great vein for a spring, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not
Uh,
legal.
no,
See, I mean, that brook by the kennel originates in two springs that were up on the.
Coolant field, right?
No, they were on the property I used to live on up on
Yeah.
Missionary Acres,
Yeah.
across from the funeral home. The
Yeah.
springs were on the back part of my lot.
Yeah.
And, but there were two springs there that are. the
come down
source
that
of the brook.
ravine.
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, that's, if you set somebody up with a chlorine test kit. And just
It's the brook that
You
came
can
down.
start
by
that
Polly Penny.
Yeah.
real basic that way,
It's
you know.
underground.
How else do they do
Now
it?
people
Pressure
have
test?
Put
You
culverts
can
in.
pressure test, you can do real
Real
simple pressure test, you can narrow it down that way.
Behind Bruce Hamlet, that's
See
a
how fast
different
the
brook.
pressure gauge drops, you can do,
Oh, so you just turn off the water for a second?
right,
Put into pipes.
See if it goes on.
Places. It
there's
was.
ultras on it,
Yeah.
ultrasound,
It's open.
Yeah.
there's acoustic listening,
Yeah,
you know, the
Wow.
go out late at night and you just listen on stuff.
And you just.
And you'll hear it, yeah,
Well,
you'll
it'll
hear it.
travel, you
Yeah,
know, if you get a leak in your house, you get metal pipes or, you know, it'll sound like there's water running in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, I think I've still got one. of
The
your phones
first in
to-
my house, I can hear.
Stethoscope.
Somebody like flushing the toilet. And there's just,
Not a good sound.
yeah, I know.
So any,
Just
the only
looking at the
reason,
apartment building.
Right.
next to
So
me.
I'm gonna put this in the
Not to
notes,
extend-
just.
Right, not to extend things, but I just wanna bring that up.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about the next budget cycle, maybe. There should be a line item added in there to do some leak studies every year,
Yeah.
whether it's contracted, whether it's. More employees, whether it's whatever.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be in this discussion for future budgets.
She said you could do it in the middle of the night and do
Yeah.
it sort of.
It's the best time to do it.
That's the best time.
No.
If you're listening and.
Yeah. If you're listening or doing, you know, I mean, there's actual leak detection companies, and
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the illicit discharge stuff. They did all that 10, 15 years ago and. Interesting, okay, it's cheaper than replacing a water main, right? All for naught.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
if you're losing water, you're losing.
Right.
everything.
Hmm.
right, you're
You're treating
wasting
it.
power, you're
Yeah.
treating it, you're using
Chemical,
chlorine,
yeah,
you're.
yeah.
how many years has it been since Sias Avenue was done?
For the water main? Yeah. Oh, God, that's been there for forever. That 6-inch water main. I've got it fully designed right now to upgrade it, cause that size Ave is fed by a 6-inch line.
Well, I was
You
just
think-
thinking.
Seriously, it is.
Well, I was
All the way out to Oasis Kennels where I hooked on, cause we had a dead end loop there. I can't remember what year I did it. It's the year I did the sidewalk. So I had a dead end loop there and I had a dead end loop on Proudy Drive, just past Union Street. And then I had a dead end loop on Union Street at the city garage.
Yeah.
So I tied all three of them together in a 10-inch all the way around, loop back to Oasis Kennels. So
So-
that helps size Avenue a lot, but 6-inch
Charged
doesn't.
at both ends.
So now you do, well, three dead end loops. One, I had water quality issues and then fire flow.
Right, you got no
You know,
fire flow in 6 inch.
a hydrant should be fed by at least an 8-inch line
Well,
by
what
standard.
made me think of it was a conversation that was in the other day about huge fire, if you know where Fernwood Circle connects to Sias Avenue.
Mhm.
Right there, there was a house there back because that was just a field and back and there was a duplex there. And that duplex burned in the late 60s. And it was a pretty interesting fire because a propane tank exploded and other stuff. And anyway, the whole east side, you know, all the side streets, basically, nobody had any water,
Oh,
water
God, yeah.
pressure, no nothing. And it was a couple of hours after the fire went out before anybody got any water pressure back.
Wow.
And if that line hasn't been upgraded since before then,
Mhm.
there are now. Just between Fernwood Circle and the side streets on the other side, there's another 25 or 30 houses connected that weren't even connected then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how many toilets are sucked into the water main when that opened
Yeah.
those hydrants.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
the other-
happened. It drained everything.
You know, the other side of that is now it is looped, so, but. It's still a 6-inch main. I mean, it's 100% designed right now. We were
So
hoping,
does A&E have a working hydraulic model of the city
yes.
where they can run fire flows and size stuff for you?
Where did we do that? I'd have to look back, Paul.
But they do, they've got a working hydraulic model, so.
Wow.
But it's certainly, I mean, it's a heavily developed area, the school's there.
Yeah.
Space of Florist is no longer there, but we.
No, they're back.
Oh, they back in there now?
Somebody bought it.
Oh, did
Judd's
they?
something, Judd's
Judge Plant.
Oh,
plants,
Yeah.
yeah.
so,
So they're gonna be thirsty.
you know, that's why I was hoping to, you know, upgrade that line. Back, it's probably been, I'd have to look back. It's probably been at least 10 years. The state kind of looked at, you know, they'll come in every year and do our sanitary survey and then looked at hydrants in around the city that didn't meet the standard. Or, well, they, you know, Sias Ave, the hydrants meet the standard, they'll flow over 500 gallons a minute, but is that really what you want? You want a hydrant that's gonna flow 1,600 gallons a minute.
Yeah, and not
So they-
cavitate everything behind it.
Right, so they pretty much put us on a timeline, said, okay, so we want you to upgrade these sections. Well, the first one I did was Western Ave by the Long Bridge, and I went all the way over, well, actually, we went all the way to Cumberland Farms. That was an old 6-inch water main. The second one on my list is Sias Avenue. And we are like way behind the 8 ball of where they told us they wanted us to be on a timeline, but it's all about this.
Right.
That's at least $1 million job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Western Ave, we started that, A&E designed it, we installed it. We were gonna go on to Clyde Street, hook onto Clyde, and then use part of the Clyde loop to get us back around to go up to Cumberland Farms up at the intersection there. And as we were doing it, I got looking at the line on Clyde Street's old and said, geez, why don't we just go up Western Ave? So we looked at digging up Western Ave, but that road was bulletproof when they built the interstate. So then we looked at crossing the river, not suspending it on the bridge, and we did, we bored underneath the river and we went right on the toe to slope up through the swamp, which then it delayed us a year because I had to get a wetland and
Mhm.
permits and whatnot, but we cut out quite a bit of pipe, but we still did a $1 million+ job for just over $500,000
Did you use ball and socket or HDPE?
HDPE.
I don't understand how you, this is way off topic, but I don't understand how you lay a new water main and do the hookups without like many days of interruptions. To
You're
the,
running them in unison. They're running parallel to each other.
Oh, you keep well.
and so you just like daisy chain off the old tie-in to the new
Yeah.
pipe and then.
We just finished, Patrick, we just finished the left side of Lakemont. It's still the old pipe, the old line's still active, so as they go along, they're hooking that new pipe that we installed, services are all there, they just gotta connect from the service to the house. It's all live, they can start connecting them, then they shut their old curb stop off. Once they're done all the houses, we can go back in, shut the main curb stop off and delete that line. But you got, yeah, you're gonna have to maintain the old one and the new one. Sias might be a little different. They may have to put a main on top of the ground, depending on how
Yeah.
things,
Yeah,
you know, wait, if you got enough room to lay a new line along the old one without disturbing it.
all those driveways.
Yeah, and you got your sewer separations.
So you gotta keep 10 feet of separation. You know, Sias has not just a gravity line, you get the force main too, that runs on the right side going out.
Or you're gonna concrete in case every joint,
Yeah.
so.
So anyway, Wednesday, 6:30.
Wednesday, 6:30.
Patrick, did you send me that spreadsheet?
The one,
Just for working on tonight?
it didn't actually. We didn't actually mess with it.
And hopefully,
Do you, I mean, this one?
Yeah. You didn't,
I
okay.
didn't mess with it.
Western Sands will
I
get
just
back
put all our
on and
notes
we'll
on
have an
email.
answer on that.
Okay.
6:30.
So you got the numbers and everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I figured, you know. as well as
best
me.
case scenario, I'd like to convince him to say, hey, just do the one. If you can do one, and we'll wait on the other one, if he'd hold his price.
I have to believe if they're this late in the season, that they will entertain.
Yeah.